स्वामिनिधि नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णा प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामने गौरसे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी श्री राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये नीलाचल निवासाय नित्याय परमात्मने बलभद्रा सुभद्राभ्यां जगन्नाथाय ते नमः। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा। So today we are going to read from fourth canto, 20th chapter, verse number 21. साधिराजो रत्यांजलिर्हरिं साधिराजो रत्यांजलिर्हरिं विलोकितुं नाशकद् अश्रुलोचना न किंचनोवाच स बाष्पविक्लभो ऋतोपगूयामुम् अहाद अवस्थिता साधिराजो रत्यांजलिर्हरिं विलोकितुं नाशकद् अश्रुलोचना न किंचनोवाच स बाष्पविक्लभो हृदोपगूयामुम् अधाद् अवस्थिता साधिराजो रत्यांजलिर्हरिं विलोकितुं नाशकद् अश्रुलोचना न किंचनोवाच स बाष्पविक्लभो हृदोपगूयामुम् अधाद् अवस्थिता। हरे कृष्ण। Anybody would like to speak? साधिराजो रत्यांजलिर्हरिं विलोकितुं नाशकद् अश्रुलोचना न किंचनोवाच स बाष्पविक्लभो हृदोपगूयामुम् अधाद् अवस्थिता। Any Mataji would like to say? साधिराजो रत्यांजलिर्हरिं विलोकितुं नाशकद् अश्रुलोचना न किंचनोवाच स बाष्पविक्लभो हृदोपगूयामुम् अधाद् अवस्थिता। हरे कृष्णा। We'll move it word to word meaning. Sa, he, Adi Raja, the original king, Rachita, Anjali, with folded hands, Harim, the supreme personality of Godhead, Vilokitum, to look upon, Na, not, Asakat, was able, Asrulochana, his eyes full of tears, Na, not, Kinchana, anything, Vacha, spoke, Sa, he, Bhaspa, his voice being choked up, Rida, with his heart, Upagoya, embracing, Amu, the Lord, Adhata, he remained, Avasthita, standing. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Abhay Chandarni, Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Jai. The original king, Maharaj Prithu, his eyes full of tears and his voice faltering and choked up, could neither see the Lord very distinctly nor speak to address the Lord in any way. He simply embraced the Lord within his heart and remained standing in that way with folded hands. Hare Krishna. Purport. Just as Krishna is addressed in Brahma Samhita as Adi Purusha, the original personality, so King Prithu, being an empowered incarnation of the Lord, is referred to in this verse as Adi Raja, the original ideal king. He was a great devotee and at the same time a great hero who conquered over all undesirable elements in his kingdom. He was so powerful that he was equal in fighting to Indra, the king of heaven. He gave protection to his citizens, keeping them engaged in pious activities and devotion to the Lord. He did not collect a single cent of taxes from citizens without being able to give them protection from all calamities. The greatest calamity in life is to become godless and therefore sinful. If the state head or the king allows the citizen to remain sinful by indulging in illicit sex life, intoxication, meat eating, and gambling, then the king is responsible and he has to suffer the resultant sequence of reaction for the sinful lives of the citizens because he levies taxes on them unnecessarily. These are the principles for a ruling power, and because Maharaj Prithu observed all the principles for a ruling chief, he is referred to here as Adi Raja. Even a responsible king like Maharaj Prithu can become a pure devotee of the first order. We can distinctly see from King Prithu's behavior how he became ecstatic, both externally and internally, in pure devotional service. Just today we have seen in the newspaper of Bombay that the government is going to repeal its prohibition laws. Ever since Gandhi's non-cooperation movement, Bombay has been kept dry and has not allowed its citizens to drink. But unfortunately, the citizens are so clever that they have increased illicit distillation of liquor. And although not being sold publicly in shops, liquor is being sold in public laboratories and similar abnormal places. Unable to check such illicit smuggling, the government has decided to manufacture the liquor at cheaper price so that people can have their supply of intoxication directly from the government instead of purchasing it in public laboratories. The government failed to change the heart of the citizens from the indulging in sinful life. So instead of losing the taxes they collect to inflate the treasury, they have decided to manufacture liquor to supply to the citizens who hanker after it. This kind of government cannot check the resultant actions of sinful life, namely war, pestilence, famine, earthquakes, and similar other disturbances. Nature's law that as soon as there are discrepancies in regard to the law of God, which are described in Bhagavad Gita as dharmasya glani, or disobedience to the laws of nature of God, at once there will be heavy punishment in the form of sudden outbreaks of war. We have recently experienced a war between India and Pakistan. Within 14 days, there have been immense losses of men and money, and there have been disturbances to the entire world. These are the reactions of sinful life. The Krishna consciousness movement is meant to make pure devotee people pure and perfect. If we become even partially pure, as described in the Bhagavatam, Nasta Prayareshu Avradreshu, by development of Krishna consciousness, then lust and greed, the material desire of the citizens, will be reduced. This can be made possible simply by broadcasting the pure message of Srimad Bhagavatam or Krishna consciousness. Big commercial and industrial firms have contributed many thousands of rupees to a defense fund that burns the money in the form of gunpowder. But unfortunately, if they are asked to contribute liberally to advance Krishna conscious movement, they are reluctant. Under the circumstances, the world will periodically suffer from such upsurges and outbreaks of war, which are the consequence of not being Krishna conscious. Hare Krishna. So, here Srila Prabhupada is very emphatically pointing out the root cause of all the problems. So I think in the book Science of Self-Realization, in that book there is one very beautiful conversation between Srila Prabhupada and one police officer of US. So in that conversation, the police officer is asking Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada, in USA there is so much of crime, there is so many prisons, so many people that are so crazy. How to stop the crime? Can you give us some solution? So Srila Prabhupada's direct answer in that book was, do Sankirtan and distribute prasad. Crime will reduce. And that police officer, he gets the biggest shock of his life because he was reducing crime and distributing prasad. Externally, they are looking 180-degree apart. How will distributing prasad or maybe doing Sankirtan will reduce the crime? But the biggest thing which Srila Prabhupada tells, if people don't understand that the problem is not outside. Generally, people are so busy in treating the problem outside, but they forget that there is a problem inside. And the inside problem, it leads to the perpetual reactions, which leads to disturbance outside. This is what people are not able to realize. They are so busy in changing the things outside. Like for example, in last class also I gave example. How people wanted that transportation takes a lot of time. So let's make what? Car. Now so many cars started coming. So now fuel problem. Now people have started purchasing so much of car. Now the problem of road. You have to make so many roads. Now roads have become so busy. Now you have to become underpass or overbridge. Now so many things are done. Accidents are happening. So in order to protect that, traffic rules are made. Now people are not following traffic rules also. So what to do now? Traffic police. Now people are not obeying traffic police also. So what comes next is fine. Put fine. Now people, they are somehow escaping police also, fine also. So now they are putting camera on the, which will automatically capture. So much of complexity. Now so much of cars, then pollution. So then a new research is set up, anti-pollution research or something like that. How to clean fuel, clean energy, green energy, something like that. So we see that people are perpetually getting trapped. You try to solve problem this way, there's a Prahlad Maharaj says in Bhagavatam, the solution to problem is the cause of another problem. The solution itself is what is the verse? Dukha Aushadhi Tadapi Dukkha. Aushadhi itself is a dukkha. That's the because people are not able to understand that the problem is not outside, problem is inside. And this is what Srila Prabhupada says. The problem is lust, problem is greed. The real problem is not that there are less cars or cars are costly or roads are not there. The main problem is the unlimited desire to exploit those resources of material nature. The being averse from Krishna consciousness. That's the main problem. People are not able to understand. And the similar thing happens when Srila Prabhupada meets Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. When Srila Prabhupada meets Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Prabhupada thinks that bringing India to independent state, it will lead to some great progress. It will be of great interest if India can become independent, and then the message of Bhagavatam can be broadcasted. But Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was so heavy. He told that Krishna consciousness is such an emergency that it cannot wait for India to become independent. And he pointed out to Srila Prabhupada at that time, Abhijeet Prabhupada's name was Abhijeet, that the real problem is not that India is under slavery, or India is controlled by British, or India is not independent. That's not the real problem. What is the real problem? Real problem is that people's hearts are not clean. That's the main problem. And that's why Britishers, they want to rule over India. Yes, because their heart is not clean. And that's why Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur told that the politicians will change, but politics will not change. Today Britishers are ruling, tomorrow somebody else will rule. Okay, let the Indians only rule. So you will change the politicians, but there is one thing which will not change. What is that? Politics. The lust will not change. That lust will be carried out by somebody else, but lust will become same. Greed will remain same. Although that greed will be expressed through different hearts, but principle will remain the same. And that's why Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur told that the real solution is what? Krishna consciousness. As here Srila Prabhupada is pointing out, the beautiful example of liquor. People are in the last part of the purport, that how people, they are so restless that even though the liquor is stopped externally, but people will somehow try to squeeze out few drops of liquor through some or other way. They are not, they will smuggle it, they will do something. So government thinks that anyway, people are doing it in a wrong way. Let's do it in a right way, and let's collect the taxes also on liquor, like that. So the real problem, so the real solution is Krishna consciousness. So another part of the purport which I would like to touch was Prithu Maharaj's reaction when he saw Krishna. So Anjalir Ashru, that is say that his eyes were completely filled with tears. His eyes was filled with tears, and his voice became choked up. He was not able to clearly see the Lord also distinctly. And Srila Prabhupada, in many parts of Bhagavatam, we see that whenever pure devotee, he sees a Lord, he gets such type of intense emotions, because these emotions are actually the constitutional position of every living entity. Every soul, when it comes in the contact of super soul, or when it comes in contact of Supreme Personality of Godhead, so these are the natural symptoms, and that's why we see the example of Dhruv Maharaj. When Dhruv Maharaj, he saw Krishna for the first time, when Lord gave him darshan, so Dhruv Maharaj, his entire senses were completely absorbed in seeing the Lord. Similarly, the Narada boy, when Narada boy, he observed Krishna within his heart, it is said that his each and every senses, they were fully enlightened. They were fully, the eyes, the ears, the nose, the tongue, the sense of touch, all the senses, the entire mind, the intelligence, everything became like a bumblebee. Like a bumblebee, it hovers around the flower, trying to seek the nectar from it. So the same thing happened with the pure devotees. When they see when they take the darshan of the Lord, yes, when they see the Lord, yes, their entire existence is flooded with ecstasy. All the senses, their mind, their intelligence is fully occupied by the surge, by the flood of love for Supreme Personality of Godhead. And here, very beautifully, Srila Prabhupada writes one very nice line, and I think in the second paragraph and third paragraph, is that Prithu Maharaj was Krishna consciousness both internally and externally, both. He was not only externally Krishna conscious, he was also internally Krishna conscious. Yes? So that means, here Srila Prabhupada is pointing out, is to internalize Krishna consciousness. So that's why Srila Prabhupada named this society as International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Because it is the consciousness which we are interested into. We want Krishna to not only reside at the bodily platform, at the senses platform. We don't want Krishna to just remain at the mental platform. We want Krishna to sink deeper and deeper at the level of consciousness. Let Krishna pervade our consciousness. Yes. So this is the goal, and which Srila Prabhupada took this word Krishna consciousness from Rupa Goswami's literature. It's a Krishna Bhavanamrit. The Krishna Bhavanamrit. And that's why Srila Prabhupada named it Krishna. Because Srila Prabhupada told this is what we are aiming for. Is the internalization of Krishna consciousness. Because before Srila Prabhupada there were many societies who were externally making people, like we can change the dress of people, we can change the tilak of the people, we can change the hairstyle of the people. Yes, we can even sometimes we can engage people into different types of activity. Yes, but Srila Prabhupada told that the goal of all these things, the goal of making big temples, the goal of doing all the services, the goal of doing all the humanitarian work to other people is to what? Is to bring Krishna in our own consciousness and to bring Krishna in their consciousness. So this is the real goal of life. And then only these emotions which Prithu Maharaj is experiencing, gradually every living entity can experience. Because it is the birthright, it is the constitutional position of a living entity to feel such emotion for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And that's why Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says in Siksastakam, Nayanam Galad Ashru Dharaya Vadanam Gadgad Hridaya Gira. So this is a natural state. As soon as a living entity comes to his constitutional position, as soon as in its pure state he experiences Krishna, it's a natural state. This is nothing, it's nothing artificial which has to be imbibed. It's a natural state of every living entity. Only thing is that the Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhya Karunaya Shravanadi Suddha Chitta Korila Uday. Nitya Siddha. This Krishna Prema which Prithu Maharaj is experiencing in this verse, where his eyes are filled with tears, where his voice is getting choked up, where his heart is becoming flooded with love for Krishna. It is the birthright. It is the natural position of each and every living entity. Yes? Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhya Karunaya, but Shravanadi Suddha Chitta Korila Uday. As soon as the living entity just has to, because living entity is currently forgetful. He just trying to hover around this material world, trying to enjoy, trying to control, try to have some proprietorship, have some controllership. He's so busy into it. But as soon as the living entity is given that exposure, that spiritual exposure, automatically all this, it comes back to its natural state. Automatically all the emotion automatically start flowing towards the living entity. So this is the natural position of every living entity. So Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, and that's why Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, he points out. So in the Bhagavatam second canto it is said that if by hearing the holy name, if by hearing the Bhagavad Katha, somebody's heart is not melting. Yes? So and that's why it is said in the second canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, if by hearing the holy name, by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, if somebody's heart is not melting, if somebody's heart is not becoming soft, so that means that heart is compared to steel frame. Steel frame is used because it is the natural state of any living entity that as soon as he confronts, as soon as he encounters Krishna's name, Krishna's form, Krishna's quality, Krishna's pastimes, it's natural for a living entity to melt down. It's natural for living entity to get those spiritual emotions. If somebody is not getting, even after the spiritual exposure, that means his heart is compared to a steel frame. That means that heart is not in its natural position. That heart is not into its constitutional position. It is into illusion. And that's why Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, that even after spiritual exposure, if such spiritual transformations are not coming, Bhakti Vinod Thakur says that there are three reasons he points out. Because as I told in this verse, Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhya Kabul hai. That yes, that Krishna Prema is there within the heart. It's a natural state of any living entity. Now Shravanadi Suddha Chitta Korila hota hai. Naturally what should happen? Shravanadi. Shravanadi means the spiritual sound vibration has entered into the ears, and now that spiritual sound vibration, they are getting exposed to the heart, and naturally it has to pull out that prema. Naturally that sound vibration which has entered into the heart, that spiritual sound vibration, it has to pull out those spiritual emotions. It's natural. But even after Bahu Janma Kari Yadi Shavana Kirtana Tabe to na payu Krishna Premadana. Yet then why it happens that even after a prolonged exposure of holy name, prolonged exposure of Krishna Katha, prolonged exposure of hearing the qualities of Krishna, prolonged exposure of hearing the pastimes of Krishna, the heart is not resonating with it. The resonance effect is not coming. So Bhakti Vinod Thakur, he points out three prime reasons for it, and he calls such state of a living entity as pramad. Pramad means his illusion. Even he's getting exposed to spiritual gifts, which is given by Krishna, which is not different. Nama Chintamani Krishna, Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha, Purna Suddha Nitya Mukta, Abhinatva Nam Namino. Though holy name is Chintamani, though holy name is not different from Krishna, though holy name is Krishna himself, but still why? So Bhakti Vinod Thakur calls such a state as pramad, illusion. It's just illusion. He's into some other utopian world. He's not reacting to that spiritual stimuli. Yes. Why? So he points out three reasons. The first reason he points out is Audasina. Audasina means indifference. Indifference. That means because a living entity has lived in this world for such a long time. Srila Prabhupada sometimes he calls it as our acharyas have sometimes technically termed it as Nitya Baddha. Now the word will come why Nitya is used. Nitya is eternal. But eternally we know that living entity is pure. But Nitya Baddha is used because Srila Prabhupada says that how long the living entity is within this world, we also don't know. How many births he has taken, how many human births he has taken, that also, because the human birth comes after 84, there are 84 lakh different species, and there are only 4 lakh species which are human beings. If you see the categorization, out of 84 lakh, 4 lakh are human category. Rest 80 lakh species are what? Some are aquatics, some are insects, some are mammals, some are birds. Yes? So now living entity, 80 lakh species he changes to come to human birth. Yes? Some type of human birth. And even in that 4 lakh species, he jumps to different categories of human beings to come to a civilized human being. Yes? And then he will do some sinful activity. Again he falls down. Again he has to do that. So like that, different permutation combinations, he has taken lakhs and lakhs, millions and billions of birth into this world. So how long he is into this world, it cannot be traced back. It has been so long. Like sometime a person is in coma. Some accident happens, he falls into coma. And he wakes up, he comes to know that 20-25 years have passed. We have some cases in medical science where a person comes back from coma after 25 and 30 years. And he comes back, he finds, there is my youth. The world has changed. From the button mobile, the world has come to smartphones. from the big computers, people have come to life. So he finds that something else. So same thing happened to the living entity. Living entity is so long. And that's why Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that he's so used with material world that when he takes to bhakti and he starts chanting, the chanting doesn't appeal to him. Because he is under the inertia of the material world. He is indifferent. The holy name is coming, the Bhagavatam is coming, the pure devotees are coming, but he is not replying to it. Everything is happening just externally. The holy name is coming in ears. It is at max reaching to the mental platform. But beyond that, it is not sinking into the heart. The soul is not responding to it. Why? Because of inertia. So long he has lived in the material world. So long he has made the millions of cycles of birth and death that he is indifferent to it. And that's why Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur gives the solution for Audasinta. He tells, if you are feeling indifferent, okay, because sometimes the holy name is coming and our heart is saying, so what? Let it come. Mangal Arati is happening. Okay, I stood, but inside the heart, so what? Let it happen. Just like it happened with the materialistic people. Right? Now, for example, we are so busy in hearing the Bhagavatam. Oh, this Bhagavatam is so wonderful. Some outside person comes for the first time and he sits. And he thinks that why these people are so interested. They are sitting so peacefully, so attentively. They are trying to hear it. Why these people are, what happened to these people? They are so much of dancing. I am not feeling those emotions. He is feeling, okay, let it happen, so what? Sometimes we distribute books. We say that these books are so important, Prabhu, please take it. And then the person says, what? So what? I am busy myself. Same thing, exactly same thing happens with our consciousness. Though we have become externally Krishna consciousness, but when the holy name, we are chanting, we are hearing Bhagavatam, when it enters the ears, it crosses the mental platform. It tries to reach to the consciousness, to the soul. Soul says what? So what? Because he has been so long into this material world. And that indifference is known as Audasinta. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he says that to cure this indifference to the holy name, to the spiritual gifts, the solution. Because see, sometimes on our own, it's very difficult to get the taste for the holy name. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, make a spiritual environment. Lord, let that spiritual pressure be created around you. And let that spiritual pressure pushes the holy name within you. If you are not able to capture it, let the spiritual environment pushes it through your ears into your heart. And Mr. Bhaktivinoda Thakur recommends many practical processes. He says to chant the holy names within the Dham is one of the solutions he gives. Because in the holy places, there is so much of spiritual energy. Because Krishna's pastimes has happened. So many pure devotees have chanted in the holy land. Yes? If we sit in the holy Dham, and that's why we many times go to holy places again and again. See, the aim of going to holy place is not to see the place. The aim of the going to holy place is to chant the holy names. This is the goal. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, these 5 elements, 5 most potent elements, chanting, Bhagavatam, association, holy places and deity worship. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur told, the goal of all these 5 is to chant the holy names properly. That's why we go to holy places. Why? So that let the vibrations of the holy places, which are so predominant, let it come and occupy our heart. That inertia of material world be driven away. Let it get charged with the spiritual. And then one can chant the holy name. One will be able to hear the holy name. then one will be able to, when the holy name enters through the ears, the heart will be able to respond to it. Yes, and that's why he says to chant in the association of devotees. Yes, to increase the spiritual pressure around us, spiritual energy around us, which can push the spiritual vibration within our heart. The second reason he says is jada, that is alas, that is inability to take the spiritual step. We are convinced, intellectually we may be convinced, okay, this is right. But jada means that there is some kind of laziness to take spiritual step. We just want to be, means just keep going on with whatever we are going on. Yes? Like it happens even in the material world. Some person who has fallen into some bad habit, and we immediately go and give him a good thing. But that person, he has an inertia to keep remaining in his bad habit, to keep remaining in that dull consciousness. He doesn't want to take a step forward. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that the second reason why our heart is not resonating with this spiritual sound vibration is what? Jada or alasya. That inability to take a spiritual step, a positive step towards Krishna. And that's why Bhaktivinoda Thakur gives the solution to it is to associate with the devotees who are super serious. Yes? The devotees who are 24-hour alert in Krishna consciousness. Yes? Who are day and night planning how to increase my sadhana, how to take one more step towards Krishna. Because when we associate with such an active Krishna conscious person, so that alasya, yes, that ability to keep remaining dull in our lower state of consciousness will be destroyed. Because there will be transfer of inspiration, there will be transfer of positive energy from that particular devotee to us. And that's why in order to cut down the alasya, we should associate with such super enthusiastic and serious, sincere, without ulterior motive devotees. That will help us. The third reason which Bhaktivinoda Thakur gives why our heart is not resonating with the spiritual sound vibration is vikshepa. Vikshepa, he says, is distraction. Yes? Because our mind is actually occupied by something else. Like for example, if somebody is married, yes, he has his wife, he has his children, but if somehow he has fallen into extramarital affair, outside the marriage, in his office, yes, so he is having extramarital affair. So you will find that such a person, his mind is so much preoccupied by that extra relationship that he will not be present in his current relationship. Even if he comes to his house, he will be just externally present. But his mind is stolen by whom? The external affairs. The same thing happens with vikshepa. Vikshepa means distraction. Something has occupied our mind. And the most practical example we can see is the mobile. Sometimes when we are sitting with mobile and chanting, it's very difficult to chant. A little sound comes, I think some sound comes, when some message comes or something. Yes, immediately it comes, immediately the mind is so rested, which message, maybe that Prabhu must have sent, yesterday night I sent him the mail, he didn't reply, maybe now he is replying. So the mind is carried by something. The mind is preoccupied by something. And such a preoccupied mind cannot focus on Krishna. Because heart can be occupied by only one thing. See, with our senses, we can do multiple things. But heart can be occupied by only one thing. The space of the heart is very, actually small. If sense gratification has occupied that place, now it becomes so filled with it that now Krishna cannot come and sit there. Yes? So the space within the heart is actually, that is actually very small, very thin line is there. Yes? We cannot occupy two things at the same place. Yes? That's why Srila Prabhupada says that Krishna consciousness and sense gratification go ill together. If somebody thinks that, no, I will do bhakti also, and latter part of the day I will also do some sense gratification. And I can go with both together. This both are like a parallel track. I can manage both of them. It can happen. We can try it. It will never happen. I think it is a realization of many devotees who have practiced for 10 years, 15 years, that when we do sense gratification, we actually cannot do Krishna consciousness. And we are fully Krishna conscious, we will not do sense gratification. Both ways it is true. Somebody is busy in sense gratification, he cannot focus on Krishna properly. Externally, he can show that he is doing devotional service, but internally, the holy name, the message of Bhagavatam will not sink within the heart. Yes? And similarly, if somebody's heart is occupied by the orders of spiritual master, by Krishna consciousness, yes? So then he will not be able to do sense gratification. It will have a resistance towards the sense gratification. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that in order to remove the distraction which has occupied your mind, what is the solution? So he says, so with an analogy we can understand it. Sometimes when we do cooking, so there are certain types of spots which become so hard, it's very difficult to remove it. So what is the way to remove it? We soak it into water, or we soak it into wind water, or whatever we can say, for a prolonged time. And after half an hour or 1 hour, when it becomes loose, and then you scrub it, it comes out very quickly. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur gives the same solution. If you are lost into distraction, for a long, prolonged period of time, doing an austerity of being a distant from sense gratificatory object, immerse yourself in Krishna consciousness. And that's why he gives the solution to chanting Ekadashi. Have a prolonged chanting of 64 rounds, 32 rounds, or for 2-3 days, go to a dham and recite there fully. Yes? And then what happens? Those spiritual sound vibrations for a prolonged period of time, they will have exactly the same effect, like we have a soaking effect. And then we can pull out those distractions very quickly. Whatever distractions are occupied by our heart, we will get a strength to say no to it. And say yes to Krishna and no to Maya. That strength we will get. That strength is very difficult to get when we are into that middle, Krishna consciousness and gratification. Our strength is very weak. Sometimes Maya is pulling us, sometimes Krishna is pulling us. But when we, for a prolonged period of time, when we soak ourselves into Vaishnava Sangha, into the Krishna, into the holy name, into the holy dham, so that prolonged effect will gradually give us the strength to scrub it out, scrub that distraction out, and then we can be properly Krishna conscious. And that's why I was hearing His Grace Radheshyam Prabhu, that he was telling that how to do actually morning pranam. He was telling that this morning pranam, this 3 hours or 4 hours which we are getting in the morning, yes, it has to be done by living each and every item of the devotional service. Like for example, we are doing Mangal Aarti. So we have to live through every stanza of Mangal Aarti. For example, we are saying Samsara Dava Nalalila Loka. So sometimes it happens, we started with Samsara Dava, and when we come back to our consciousness, what is going is Yasha Prasada Bhagavad Prasada. So Prabhuji was telling, we have to live, we have to walk through the Mangal Aarti. Samsara Dava is one mercy of Guru. Mahaprabhu Kirtan Nritya Gita Vaditra Madhyan Manaso Rasena. This is another mercy of. So we have to walk through that. Our consciousness, when that is going on, that should also go within the heart. So both should resonate. External stanza and internal reaction to that stanza. Both should resonate with each other. Then third, so like that. So similarly when we are chanting, yes, one round, we are into that round. Second round. We should come to know that I am chanting the round. Sometimes what happens, we are chanting the first round and we come back to our external consciousness, we find that 12th round is going on or 10th round is going on. So Prabhuji was telling that we have to walk through every round. We have to walk through first round. We have to walk through second round. We should have to see whether our Mangal morning program was successful or not. How to test it? After the morning program, we should have all the memory of what we did. Like for example, when this stanza was going on, what I was thinking. Do we have that memory? Are we carrying that memory with us? If suppose how I was struggling in chanting, how much I heard the holy name. Yes? And similarly, Bhagavatam. So we are sitting in Bhagavatam, we started at 8 o'clock. When we come to our consciousness, it's already 8:45. Now it's time for question answer or something like that. Yes. So Prabhuji was telling that we have to walk through the Bhagavatam. Okay, now this point was told, now this point, then that point, this part of the purport, that part of the purport, like that. We have to walk through it. And then when we immerse ourselves into sound, so gradually we will find these effects which Prithu Maharaj is experiencing in current verse, where his eyes are flowing with tears, where his voice is getting choked up, he's not able to distinctly see the Lord. All these effects will gradually manifest in a sadhaka. Okay, that is a very high stage, but it will start with some affection for Krishna. It starts with affection. Love is a very big thing. Love is a very big thing. But that love platform actually starts with what? Affection. Appreciation. Oh, Krishna is so wonderful. Oh, Krishna, this quality is so beautiful. Oh, Krishna, he lifted the Govardhan with his little hand. It is so beautiful. It will start with appreciation for Krishna. It will start with some affection for Krishna. It will start with some popping up of thoughts for Krishna. We are going in the office, immediately in the office, some thoughts will pop up. How beautiful today's class was. Or how wonderful is the holy name. It will start with some popping up of thoughts. It will start with some popping up of, then gradually from the thoughts, as mind has three functions: thinking, feeling and willing. So from thinking, first it will start with little thinking of Krishna. Then it will go to the feeling for Krishna. Feeling is even deeper. Yes. It will happen because we are exposing ourselves with the holy name. Because holy name is acting on it. See, the heart is there and the holy name is around it. But the heart has to catch the holy name. Heart has to attach to it. So externally everything is there. Through our ears they have gone. But what is happening? The soul, it is busy into something. The holy name is there, the soul is also busy in something. But when the soul makes an endeavor to attach itself, then that holy name gradually starts acting on the soul, curing its disease. And gradually, when the disease is cured, gradually that holy name starts flooding the heart. And then all those spiritual emotions becomes the wealth of the soul. So this is how it happens. And that's why Bhakti Vinod Thakur, he urges every sadhaka to take that step before the time passes away. So that's why Bhakti Vinod Thakur urges every sadhaka to not just spend time in Krishna consciousness, not just pass the number of years, but to rather take the real benefit. And that's why Srila Prabhupada named it as International Society for Krishna Consciousness. That is the goal. Because when Prabhupada, I think when he named this society, he showed it to one of his god brother. How is the name? Can you tell me? International Society for Krishna Consciousness. And that god brother told, exactly, you have caught the essence. He told to Srila Prabhupada, you have caught the essence. This is what Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually came to give. And I will just touch the last part of the purport, where Srila Prabhupada tells that Prithu Maharaj, although being a king had developed such a high emotion for Krishna. He was a king. And that's why Srila Prabhupada tells that one can be a king at the same time Krishna conscious. That means Srila Prabhupada is telling that it's quite possible. We don't have to give up our material duty. Carrying out our material duty, one can be perfectly Krishna conscious. And the same thing happened when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu traveled to South India, to the Kurma Brahman. Yes. So there was a Kurma Brahman. Yes. To Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he came to Kurma Kshetra, and in the Kurma Kshetra, he was dancing in front of the Kurma deity. Yes. And then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he fell unconscious. And the Kurma Brahman came, he saw such an effulgent sannyasi. He invited him to his house. He served him. Day and night he heard Krishna conscious katha from him. And after that, the Kurma Brahman heart, it started getting attached to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's lotus feet. And now when it was time for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to leave. That Kurma Brahman was so attached to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that he was not able to leave the association of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was going further to South India, Kurma Brahman was saying, I also want to come with you. Please don't leave me back. Please take your also servant with you. Let this servant become a bumblebee who constantly hover around the flower of your lotus feet. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, no, you stay back. No, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, this family life is a burden. This family life, this materialistic life is so painful. Please don't throw me back into this materialistic way of life. Please allow me to full time become your associate and always be in your association. Then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave him a very wonderful instruction. He told, no, you have a family life, you stay here, you have your duties. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed him, every day attentively chant your holy names properly. If you attentively chant the holy names every day, this materialistic life will not swallow you. You will not get swallowed by the materialistic way of life. So this is the perfect platform to do our duties. Let the heart, if we do our morning program very nicely, if we do the core activity of Krishna consciousness very nicely, if the holy name, if our heart is getting stole by the holy name, if our heart is getting stole by Bhagavatam, and then after that, once Krishna occupies a part of our heart, and then we do our materialistic duty, those duties don't affect us. Because we are submerging, immersing, drowning our heart again and again into the holy name and Srimad Bhagavatam. That's the only way one can remain unaffected by the materialistic way of life, and one can do it one's duty in the most detached manner. Yes? And the only way is let the heart, not externally. And that's why Srila Gaur Govind Maharaj used to say that let the chanting of the holy name not be ear dip. Let not only ears touch the holy name. Let not only mind touch the holy name. The holy name should be heart dip. Let the drops of holy name also fall. Let it enter through ears, and let some drops fall on the heart also. Let it be heart dip. And that's why Srila Gaur Govind Maharaj, he called ISKCON as a synonym. He called it as crime school. And he told that our temples, our entire ISKCON movement is meant for this one purpose, is to cry for Krishna. This is the whole goal and soul of ISKCON. Whatever big temples, big facilities, whatever. The goal is what? To one day cry for Krishna. So with this, sorry, I've already crossed the time limit. So with this, we would like to end with a prayer to Lordship that may we take full benefit of what Srila Prabhupada has given in form of the holy name. And God Purnima is coming. The greatest gift for which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually came was the chanting of the holy names. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he gave different tasks to different people. Like he gave to Goswamis to write the literature. But for the chanting of the holy names, he personally demonstrated it. He personally, if you see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his life, we hardly see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu writing, or Mahaprabhu is reading something. Those pictures we will not see. We see Mahaprabhu chanting. That we will see. Mahaprabhu chanting in different poses. We never see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sitting grave, doing some kind of solo meditation, or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is writing something. We have pictures of Rupa Goswami writing. We have pictures of but we don't have picture of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, every picture is all about only two things: chanting and chanting and devotee sangha. That's all. Yes? So he personally came to give that gift, and let that gift not only be ear dip, let that gift be heart dip. Let that gift we make full utilization of that gift, because Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhya Kabunay Shravanadi Suddha Chitta Korila Uday. It's because that if that sound vibration is actually exposed to the heart, if we allow it to expose to the heart, we have to just allow it. That's like one example is given of well. Somebody trapped in the well. So yogi process of coming out of well is what? Making his own effort. How will I come out of the well? How will I come out of the well? Bhakti is just like rope. Rope is there, you can climb it. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu means what? I have done that. You don't have to even climb the rope. You have to just catch the rope. And Mahaprabhu will pull you out. And that's why we have to just allow the holy name to expose the heart. And the holy name will take care of everything. We don't have to we don't have to analyze the holy name. We don't have to intellectually understand the holy name. Holy name is having everything. It's fully automatic. Like I was coming in the lift in the morning. In the lift it was written that if the power goes off, don't fearful. The lift has automatic system to take you to the next floor and doors will automatically open. This was written, the same lift is written. Similarly, with the holy name also same package comes. Just allow the holy name to reach to the heart. The holy name will take care of how to go from sadhu sangha to adharmavritti, nistha, ruchi, that holy name will take care. Only thing is to allow the holy name to reach. That homework we have to do. If we say Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, no, do that doesn't work. Because Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he respects the free will of every humanity. He gives the free will, whether you want, I will give you the holy name, but whether you want to respond to that holy name or not, that is your homework. Rest I will do. So with this message, we will like to end today's session. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Bhagavad Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Hare Krishna.